Hello, I'm Edwin Newman for the A&E Cable Network. On the afternoon of July 20th, 1969, the lunar module of Apollo 11, codename Eagle, detached itself from the mothership Columbia and landed on the southwestern shore of the Sea of Tranquility. 6 hours and 39 minutes later, Commander Neil Armstrong stepped out of the module, climbed down a 9-rung ladder, and planted the first human footprint on the surface of the moon. In commemoration of the 20th anniversary of Apollo 11's magnificent journey, A&E is presenting Moonwalk As It Happened, a 3-part telecast featuring NBC's actual coverage of the mission as it was shown at this time 20 years ago. In this segment of our presentation, we will retrace what were perhaps mankind's greatest steps. But first, A&E looks at the liftoff as it happened 4 days earlier.
30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
We got a roll program.
Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading. Plus 30 seconds.
Roll complete and pitches program. One Bravo
is a abort control mode. Altitude's 2 miles.
Houston, you're good at 1 minute.
Downrange 1 mile, altitude 4 miles now. Velocity 2,195 feet per second. We're through the region of maximum dynamic pressure now. Set 8 miles downrange, 12 miles high. Velocity 4,000 feet per second.
Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Mark, mode 1 Charlie. 1 Charlie.
Cliff Charlesworth taking a staging status.
This is Houston, you are go for staging. Inboard cutoff.
Inboard engines out.
I'm inboard cutoff.
Downrange 35 miles, 30 miles high. Standing by for the outboard engine cut down now.
There it is, right on the tick.
And ignition.
During the time between Apollo 11's liftoff and lunar landing, the Earth was united in expectancy and excitement. When the Eagle actually landed on the moon on the afternoon of July 20th, 1969, the camera on the spacecraft was not yet operating. The 500 million viewers who had been following the voyage on television had to content themselves with network simulations. Before we go to our exact minute-by-minute as-it-happened format for Neil Armstrong's historic moonwalk, we will look at the footage that the television audience was not able to see until after the astronauts returned to Earth and had the film developed. Here's how NBC's Frank McGee introduced those first images of the Eagle's touchdown on the sandy beaches of the Sea of Tranquility.
I'm Frank McGee, NBC News. Despite all the drama of earlier space feats, despite all the discussions of scientific and philosophic implications, despite all the anticipation, it still was almost incredible. Centuries of dreaming, a decade of planning, were nearing a climax. And a special breed of 20th century explorer, the men of Apollo 11, were on their way. Spacecraft Commander Neil Armstrong, 39, not a man for small moments. Michael Collins, 38. His approach? Stay casual. Edwin Aldrin Jr., 39. Part engineer, part scientist, all pilot.
Altitude, velocity, light. 3.5 down, 220 feet. 15 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely, 200 feet. 4.5 down, 5.5 down. 160 feet, 6.5 down, 5.5 down. 9 forward. Good. 120 feet. 100 feet, 3.5 down, 9 forward. 5%. 185. 75 feet. Guys looking good, down a half. 6 forward. 60 seconds. Lights on. 6. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. That's 40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drifting to the right a little. 20, down a half. 30 seconds. Forward. Just. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
At this moment, on the night of July 20th, 1969, the inhabitants of planet Earth were about to witness the ultimate television special, produced and directed by its stars, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, the first men to walk on the moon. This is that special as it aired on NBC at this time 20 years ago, the Moonwalk, as it happened.
And has been for just 6 hours. A little over, a few minutes over 6 hours. Men have been living on the moon.
Do you think you can open the hatch at this pressure, about 0.12 psi? Okay, valve throttle. Okay.
We learned that an overworked computer had been guiding Eagle toward a boulder-filled crater. Armstrong grabbing manual control to steer over the rocks to a smooth, safe spot for landing.
It's presumed that tens of millions of people are listening right now to the biggest single audience for what is certainly the biggest single event in man's scientific lifetime.
Your window cleared yet? The water window cleared yet? It was, yeah. Mine hasn't cleared yet.
So I believe what's happening...
Cabin pressures on both vehicles reading 4.9 pounds per square inch. Columbia's temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Eagle's temperature 61 degrees Fahrenheit.
This is Houston. Any joy on the limb that fast? Over. Okay. Off those. Make plus water hose to PGA. Columbia, this is Houston. Over. Columbia, go ahead. Columbia, this is Houston. We'd like you to cycle the fans in cryo-hydrogen tank number 1, and LOS time this orbit is 111-19er-31. Correction, make that for the next orbit. You already have the ALS LOS for this orbit. Have the ALS LOS for this. at a time, and you want to cycle the fan and cryo hydrogen tank one.
Roger out. Go ahead, Buzz. This is Houston.
Roger, our comm just seemed to clear up a good bit. Did SM just go over the hill?
Negative. He's been over the hill here for a minute or so.
They'll have to pull this hatch open against this pressure that will be forcing it back against, and any leakage from their suit systems or anything whatsoever.
The hatch is coming open.
It's coming open.
Yeah, hold it from going closed, and I'll get the valve to, and I better get up first.
It's a two-man job. Aldrin and Armstrong both working on the Eagle hatch.
Hatch reported coming open at 109 hours, 8 minutes, 5 seconds. Roger, were you successful in spotting the LEM on that pass? Over.
Negative. I checked both locations. There's no joint.
No doubt.
Okay, if you'd like to look again, next pass we have a different set of coordinates based on the onboard T-57 solution of the LEM. These are echo decimal 3 and 4 decimal 8. I say again, echo decimal 3, 4 decimal 8. Same chart, over.
Mission Control in communication with Mike Collins in Columbia. Mission Control has dual responsibilities here. They've got to keep tabs on Mike Collins in Columbia, at the same time watching the activities of Armstrong and Aldrin in Eagle as Armstrong prepares to move out onto the deck and down to the moon soil. Of course, this is an activity they have rehearsed countless times in preparation for this mission, and they are probably so busy doing the things that they have to do that they have had little or no time to consider just where they are and register any emotional impact at this point.
They've been on the PLSSs now for 16 and a half minutes. Columbia, this is Houston. We show you nearing high gain antenna scan limit. When you lose lock on us, we request Omni Delta. Omni Delta when you lose lock, over.
Delta. Delta when you lose. Roger, Omni Delta.
We're 8 minutes away from loss of signal on Columbia.
Okay, my wind is cleared. I'm going to go to... I might cooling up a little bit. Okay, my wind is clear.
Those are the lunar module flyers now.
Well, they can see outside of their spacesuits.
All RCU windows are clear. Time circuit is 4243. And Okay. FN pressure light, a 3 amp light, and an ECS light. Yeah, and we got a water separator light. No water, all set. All right. And I'll look at your cabin fan, one circuit breaker. You look at the glycol secondary.
Neil Armstrong, suit pressure 4 point.
It's cooling now. Me too. Okay. Glycol pump secondary circuit breaker open. So I can see this. I have to lean this way. Can't go any further. All right, cabin fan 1 is, yeah, that's good. Can you check it? It's open. Verified. Okay. Non-pings radar circuit breakers open. Well, I'm looking head on at it. I'll get it. Okay, let me get your antenna. Out. Okay. Now we need to go down and get the moon. My antenna's out. Right. Okay, now we're ready to hook up the LEC here. All right, that should go down. Hey, with no twists now. Put the bag out this way. That's even. Hey, you hooked up there? Okay, now we need to hook this. Yeah, move that up there. Okay. Okay, your visor. Yeah. Look at your back is up against the bird. Right now it's on top of the disky. Forward and up. Now you're clear. A little bit toward me. Stay down. To your left a little bit. Plenty of room. Get you lined up nicely. Toward me a little bit. Down. Okay, now you're clear. You're catching the first hinge, Bosman. The what hinge? All right, move your roll to the left. Okay, now you're clear. Lined up on the platform. Move your left foot to the right a little bit. Okay, that's good. All left. Good. Okay, now I'm going to check pass here. Okay, you're not quite squared away. Hold to the right a little. Now you're even. Yeah, that's okay. That's good. Got plenty of room to your left. It's a little close on the side. How am I doing? You're doing fine. Okay, you want this bag? Jump. Better. Okay, Houston, I'm on the porch.
Roger, Neil.
He's got 9 steps to go before he puts a left foot out on the lunar soil.
Okay, stand by, Neil.
Columbia, this is Houston, 1 minute, 30 seconds to LOS. All systems go, over.
Hold the arm in it, Neil. Okay. Get a little slack.
Neil Armstrong on the porch at 109 hours, 19 minutes, 16 seconds.
You need more slack, bud? No, hold it just a minute. Okay.
.25 minutes of PLSS time expended now.
Okay, everything's nice and straight in here. Okay, can you pull the door open a little more? Right? Yeah. Okay. Did you get the mesa out? I'm going to pull it now. Houston, the mesa came down, all right.
Houston, roger, we copy, and we're standing by for your TEV.
Houston, this is Neil, radio check.
Neil, this is Houston, loud and clear. Break, break, Buzz, this is Houston, radio check and verify TV circuit breaker in.
Roger, TV circuit breaker's in. Base 5 clear.
Roger. And we're getting a picture on the TV.
You got a good picture, huh?
There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail.
Okay, would you verify the position, the opening I ought to have on the camera?
Stand by. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
Neil, we can see you coming.
Just a few feet below the curious lunar soil.
Okay, I just checked, getting back up to that first step. That isn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up.
Roger, we copy.
It's a pretty good little jump.
Buzz, this is Houston. F2, 1/160th second for shadow photography on the sequence camera.
Okay. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The limb footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
10:56 p.m. Eastern Time.
3,
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
This program is brought to you in part by Citicorp and by Cambridge Businesswear.
We help more Americans go to college, and we issue more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. We're Citicorp and Citibank, America's largest financial services company. Whatever financial success you hope to achieve, whether it's business or personal, we can help you do it, and do it better than anyone else. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge Businesswear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. When you're choosing your business wardrobe, selecting everything down to the last detail, don't forget the last detail. Cambridge Businesswear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
To get more out of your viewing pleasure, you know where to look. Now take a look at the all-new A&E program guide in full color, full size, with detailed program descriptions and exciting in-depth looks at A&E premieres. Subscribe now. To order your $18 annual subscription using Visa or MasterCard, call 1-800-228-2787 toll-free. Or send a check or money order to A&E Program Guide, P.O. Box 2094, Mahopac, New York, 10541.
A&E invites you to set sail on an ocean full of cosmic wonder. Aboard a powerful four-part series, Space Flight. Journey through an in-depth record of past, present, and future developments of manned space exploration. From the first venture to the stars, to why we embrace the challenge, and what paths still await us in the universe beyond. All revealed in a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at Space Flight. Mondays.
3, 2,
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Yes, the surface is fine and powdery. I can kick it up loosely with my toe. It does adhere in fine layers, like powdered charcoal, to the sole and sides of my boot. I only go in a small fraction of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch, but I can see the footprints of my boots and the treads in the fine sandy particles. Neil, this is Houston. We're copying. There seems to be no difficulty in moving around as we suspected. It's even perhaps easier than the simulations of 16G that we performed in various simulations on the ground. Absolutely no trouble to walk around. The descent engine did not leave a crater of any size. It has about 1 foot clearance on the ground. We're essentially on a very level place here. I can see some evidence of rays emanating from the descent engine, but very insignificant amount. Okay, Buzz, we ready to bring down the camera?
I'm all ready. I think it's 2 miles squared away in good shape.
Okay.
Okay, you'll have to pay out all the LEC. It looks like it's coming out nice and evenly.
Okay, it's quite dark here in the shadow and a little hard for me to see it. I have good footing. I'll work my way over into the sunlight here without looking directly into the sun.
Okay, it's taut now. Unofficial time on the first step, 109.2420. Okay, I think you're pulling the wrong one.
Okay, I'm ready to pull it down now. There was still a little bit left in the...
Okay, don't hold it quite so tight.
Okay?
Okay.
Looking up at the lamb, I'm standing directly in the shadow now, looking up at Buzz in the windows. And I can see everything quite clearly. The light is sufficiently bright, backlighted into the front of the lamb, that everything is very clearly visible.
Okay, I'm going to be changing it up.
Okay.
Neil Armstrong moving around on the lunar surface now in the vicinity of the limb. Now back to the limb leg, one of 4 legs on the lunar module.
Checking the struts to see how they withstood the landing.
It's a lunar dawn and long shadows are cast. But the picture is quite clear. You can see Armstrong moving about. It appeared at one point there that there was a change in polarity in the camera picture. That may have been caused by the bright sunlight when he moved into a lighted area.
Armstrong said the LEM is resting on a level surface and has only sunk perhaps 1/8 of an inch into the lunar surface.
The surgeon says that
Camera installed on the RCU bracket.
surgeon says the crew is doing well. Data is good, crew is doing well.
And I'm still in the LEC on the secondary struts.
Astronaut Armstrong has a sequence camera on his chest now. He was brought down to him on the lunar equipment conveyor. This is something like a clothesline, just a normal clothesline that you use with a pulley system, and it was fed down
I'll
to
step out
him.
and take some of my first pictures here.
He has it on his chest. He'll walk out now and take his first pictures.
Roger, Neil, we're reading loud and clear. Let's see, getting some pictures and the contingency sample. .5 minutes of PLSS time expended now.
Dan in the Moon simulator during their training period.
Looking at Armstrong moving around there on the lunar surface, he gives the picture of an Arctic explorer dressed in heavy clothing to protect him from the freezing cold with a backpack, gingerly moving about now in the vicinity of the LEM ladder. Buzz Aldrin still in the LEM. He will not be moving out for a few minutes yet.
Neil, this is Houston. Did you copy about the contingency sample? Over. All right, you're going to get to that just as soon as I finish these picture series.
What he has been doing is he's turning around a full 360 degrees, taking a snapshot with his camera from all angles from where he's standing.
In his description of the moon surface, Armstrong said it was firm but powdery. He could kick it up with the toe of his boot. It would adhere to the toe of his boot like fine charcoal dust. He can see his own footprints and the boot tread on the surface of the moon.
He is now opening up his suit pocket on his left leg. This is what he'll put the contingency sample into. About 2 pounds of lunar material. He has more or less a stick with a little bag on it.
Okay, going to get the contingency sample there, Neil? All right. Okay, that's good.
This is number 1 on the list of scientific priorities, getting that first quick sampling of lunar soil, an event the mission has to be cut short, the men brought back early.
The curvature of the lunar horizon is clearly visible about 1.5 miles to the west of Eagle.
Okay, the contingency sample is down and it's up sample. Like it's a little difficult to dig through the initial crust. Very interesting. It's a very soft surface, but here and there where I plug with the contingency sample collector, I run into very hard surface, but it appears to be very cohesive material of the same sort. I'll try to get a rock in here. Get a couple. Oh, that looks beautiful from here, Neil. It has a stark beauty all its own. It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here. Be advised that a lot of the rock samples out here, the hard rock samples, have what appear to be vesicles in the surface. Also, I'm looking at one now that appears to have some sort of phenocryst. Houston, roger out. Okay, the handle is off the push it in about 6 to 8 inches into the surface. Like it's pretty easy to put on. It is. It's I'm sure I could push it in farther, but it's hard for me to bend down farther than that. Didn't know you could throw so far. You can really throw things a long way up here.
Think how far you could drive a golf ball.
Yes.
Think how far you could slice one.
Right off the horizon.
My pocket open, bud? Yes, it is. It's not up against your suit, though. Hit it back once more. Or more toward the inside. Okay, that's good. Put in the pocket? Yeah, push down. Got it? No, it's not all the way in. Push it. There you go. Contingency sample is in the pocket. My oxygen is 81%. I have no flags, and I'm in minimum flow. This is Houston, Roger Neil.
No flags, no danger signals.
This is the preliminary checks he was required to make of all of his equipment for him to continue his walk here right after getting the contingency sample.
Okay, I got the camera going at 1 frame a second. Okay. And I've got 80%, no flags. Good. Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston? Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture. Neil, this is Houston. We're getting a picture. You're not in at the present time. We can see the bag on the LEC being moved by Buzz, though. Here you come into our field of view. Oh, let me move that over the edge for you. Okay, ready for me to come out? Yeah, just stand by a second. I'll move this over the handrail.
It's sort of a wobbly fashion.
He moves around, though, with great stability. There is nothing to indicate he's suffering a loss of balance or disorientation at all. He
just walked over and got the bag, and
that's what you call a kangaroo hop.
No, he hasn't used
the kangaroo hop yet.
Okay. All right, that's got it. Are you ready? All set. Okay, you saw what difficulties I was having. I'll try to watch your bliss from underneath here.
Now he's going to do for Aldrin what Aldrin did for him when Armstrong left the Eagle. He's going to give him guidance and direction, which way to move, where to put his feet. Make sure that his bliss pack clears the hatch door, the hatchway.
All right, the backup camera is position. Okay, your bliss looks like it's clearing okay. The toes are about to come over the sill. Okay, now drop your bliss down. There you go, you're clear. And laterally, you're good. Got an inch clearance on top of your bliss. Okay, you need a little bit of arching of the back to come down. How far are my feet from the edge? Okay, you're right at the edge of the porch. Okay. Back in from... Small little foot movement. Porch. Arching of the back. Moment comes up and clears the... bulkhead without any trouble at all. Looks good.
3.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
It was a crime so offensive, it's hard to imagine something like this could ever be a problem in our society.
There's another child missing.
Sean Connery stars in a film by Sidney Lumet that you may find disturbing. The Offense, premiering Friday, July 21st.
How well you carry yourself in business often depends on what you carry in business. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. This year, the best dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge Business Wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
Why are John Cleese, Jane Seymour, Christopher Reeve, and the Duchess of York all dressed up in silly costumes doing even sillier things?
We've been training intensively for 8 minutes this morning.
4 celebrity teams compete for 4 very good causes in the Grand Knockout Tournament. Premiering Sunday, July 23rd at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
IBM technology is helping to explore the Earth's crust. Conventional methods probe to about 5 miles. But at Cornell University, an IBM supercomputing system analyzes seismic data at such high speed, geologists are now charting the Earth's crust 20, 25, even 30 miles deep. In geology, in other sciences, and in business, supercomputing is another example of IBM technology at work.
Few people really understand money, how to make the most of it, how to use it effectively. To most people, money isn't funny. It's serious business. If you're concerned about your money and your family's future, ask your financial representative about the investment products of Kemper Financial Services. Because you shouldn't lose sleep worrying about your investments. Kemper, a concern for your future.
3. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
45 minutes PLSS time expended.
Neil, this is Houston. Based on your camera transfer with the LEC, do you foresee any difficulties in SRC transfer? Over. Difficulties in SRC. Negative.
That's the sample return containers, the rock boxes that Capcom...
I want to back up and partially close the hatch.
Neil Armstrong on the surface of the moon, Edwin Aldrin on the porch in just a matter of moments to start his descent of the lunar module ladder.
Making sure not to lock it on my way out. Particularly good thought. That's our home for the next couple hours. We want to take good care of it. Okay, I'm on the top step, and I can look down over the RCU and landing gear pad. It's a very simple matter to hop down from one step to the next. Yes, I found it to be very comfortable, and walking is also very comfortable. You've got 3 more steps and then a long one.
That last one is the long one. The reason that is, they really expected, I think, the foot pads to crush in just a little bit more than they did.
Okay, I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there and both hands down to about the 4th rung up. There you go. Okay, now I think I'll do the same. A little more. About another inch. There, you got it? That's a good step. Yep. About a 3-footer. Beautiful view. Isn't that something? Magnificent sight out here.
Aldrin, the second man on the moon, followed Armstrong within 20 minutes.
Both PLSS is nominal on consumables.
like the secondary strut. Have little thermal effects on it right here, Neil.
Yeah, I noticed that. Seems to be the worst, although similar effects are on all around.
It's very, very fine powder, isn't it?
Isn't it fine?
Right in this area, I don't think there's much of any but fine powder. Some clouds together, and it's hard to tell whether it's a clod or a rock.
Notice how you can pick it out?
Yeah, and it bounces, and then...
Both men are now about 4 or 5 feet apart, right out in front of the ladder where they come down off of the limb porch. And they're kicking up the dust, so to speak, on the moon surface, checking to see what texture they have there. Now, astronaut Armstrong is hopping up and down.
Reaching down, fairly easy. Get my suit dirty at this stage. The mass of the backpack does have some effect in inertia. There's a slight tendency I can see now to backwards due to the soft, very soft texture.
Oh, you're standing on a rock, big rock there now.
The patcher didn't.
No, it didn't.
That's no crater there at all from the engine.
No.
I wonder if that right under the engine is where probe might have hit. I'd like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good representation of our sideward velocity of touchdown there. Hold it to probe.
I'll see that probe over on the minus Y strut. Open off and bent back up.
That did, didn't it? The other two boats bent over.
The two pilots are now inspecting the limb, and the probe they're talking about are little probes that extend from the foot pads of the limb itself and touch the moon first on landing, and gives them a signal inside that they're only a foot away from touching down on the moon.
Can't say too much for the visit. Pretty dark. It looks like there's a surface of a flat rounded rock. And incidentally, these rocks, very powdery surface.
Say again, please, Buzz. You're cutting out. And here's some...
I say that the rocks are rather slippery.
Roger.
Very powdery surface. When it's on there, it's fill up all the very little fine porises. They'll tend to slide over it rather easily.
Neil Armstrong getting ready to move the TV camera now out to its panorama position.
Panorama position referred to by Mr. Riley.
Be about 60 feet away from the limb. Give a wide-angle view of their activities, which they will be doing during the next hour.
To lose my balance in one direction, and recovery is quite natural and very easy. moving your arms around. Jack doesn't go off the surface. Not quite that light-footed. And I have the insulation off the Mesa now. The Mesa seems to be in good shape. You have to be careful that you're leaning in the direction you want to go. Otherwise, you slightly inebriate. In other words, you have to cross your foot over to stay underneath where your center of mass is. Hey, Neil, didn't I say we might see some purple rocks? Find the purple rocks? Yep. Very small, sparkly fragments are rock. They're like the sun in places. I would make a first guess at some sort of biotite. We'll leave that to the further analysis. But soil compacts underneath. Completely no. You don't sink down more than a quarter of an inch.
Don't sink down more than a quarter of an inch, he says, as you walk across the lunar surface.
A little bit of a signal breakup there, and I believe that's an Aldrin's transmitter.
Biotite is a brown mica substance.
Okay, Houston, I'm going to change lenses on you. Roger, Neil.
Right now there is a loss of picture.
Life support consumables still looking good.
Okay, Houston, tell me if get a new picture.
Neil, this is Houston. That's affirmative. We're getting a new picture. You can tell it's a longer focal length lens. And for your information, all LEM systems are go. Over.
For your information, all LEM.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We might mention that neither of the astronauts have walked more than 10 or 12 feet at the most away from the lunar module at this time. The television camera has a cable on it 100 feet long. They can maneuver out to 100 feet with a television camera.
A plaque to mark the landing. A small stainless steel plaque on the forward landing gear.
Neil is now unveiling the plaque that is...
Roger, we've got you four-sided, but back to one side.
Four-sided.
For those who haven't read the plaque, we'll read the plaque that's on the front landing gear of this LEM. There's two hemispheres, one showing each of the two hemispheres of Earth. Underneath it says, "Dear men from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon, July 1969, AD. It came in peace for all mankind." It has the crew members' signatures and the signature of the President of the United States.
That will be there.
Ready for the camera?
As a permanent artifact.
Ready for the camera? I'll get it.
There, you're taking TV on now.
Touch the LEC there.
How much afraid these soft materials are going to get dusty. The surface material powdery. I don't know how good your lens is, but if you can touches like gloves. Very much like a very finely powdered carbon, but pretty looking. You pull out some of my cable for me, Buzz?
The men have been on their portable life support systems for almost an hour.
Houston, how close are you able to get things in focus?
This is Houston. We can see Buzz's right hand. It's somewhat out of focus. I'd say we were focusing down to probably, about 8 inches to a foot behind the position of his hand when he was pulling out the cable.
Okay, how's the temperature looking there? Temperature of the camera is showing cold. I'm a little cool. I think I'll change. Oh. I'm on intermediate now, Houston, and I show 3.78. No flags, 74.
Houston, roger out.
And we'll probably need a little distant back location television camera. And Neil, look at the minus Y strip. The direction of travel there. Traveling from right to left. Right. So this one over here underneath the SN where the probe first hit. Minus my probe first hit. I got plenty of cable. You got plenty more. Okay, I think I got the end of it. Something interesting in the bottom of this little crater here. Maybe. I keep going. We got a lot more. Okay. Getting a little harder to pull out here.
The moon surface is just pocked with these little craters that are clearly visible as he walks across the surface carrying the television camera to its permanent resting site.
If you stand on the ladder facing forward, the minus Y strut is the landing gear to your left.
Hey, I am, Buzz. 40, 50 feet. Why don't you turn around and let them get a view from there and see what the field of view looks like. They're backing into the cable. Okay. Turn around to your right, be better. I don't want to go into the sun if I can avoid it. That's right, yeah. Just leave it. All right, let it sit like that and walk around it. Houston, how's that field of view going to be? Pick up the mesa.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
You can see the dream of success in the eyes of people all across America. At Citicorp, we understand the dream. That's why, as Citicorp and Citibank, we've become America's largest financial services organization, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more home mortgages, more student loans, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
These kindergartners are using an IBM learning program called Writing to Read. Through computers and other tools, it's helping children across the country learn to read as much as 2 grade levels above the national average.
After a tiger sees me. Tigers live in the zoo. The end.
To learn more, write IBM, Box 446, Montvale, New Jersey.
The New Yorker, if it were like any other magazine, that couldn't possibly look like this. Now, wouldn't that be a shame? You see, week after week, the New Yorker publishes the best fact, fiction, humor, criticism, poetry, ideas, and entertainment guide in America. It's been called the best magazine in the world, probably the best magazine that ever was. See if you agree. Call this number and get 52 weekly issues of the New Yorker for just $25.95. That's $65 off the cover price. Call now and you'll also receive this reproduction of the very first New Yorker, published in 1925. This collector's copy is free with your paid subscription if you act now.
Call 1-800-592-3900. That's 1-800-592-3900 for 52 weekly issues of the best magazine in the world. Yes, the New Yorker.
3, 2, 1, 0.
On the moon. Neil, this is Houston. The field of view is okay. We'd like you to aim it a little bit more to the right, over.
Okay. Okay, that's all the cable we have. All the way out. I'll start working on the solar.
A little bit too much to the right. Can you bring it back left about 4 or 5 degrees? Okay, that looks good, Neil.
Hey, that looks good, Neil. Okay, now, think I ought to be farther away or closer? Can't get too much further away. Let's try it like that for a while. I'll get a couple panoramas with it here.
Roger, you look okay as far as distance goes, Neil, and we'll line you up again when you finish the panorama. You're going too fast on the panorama sweep. You're going to have to stop for...
I haven't stopped. I haven't set it down yet. That's the first picture in the panorama. Right there.
Roger.
It's taken just about northeast. Tell me if you got a picture, Houston.
Well, we've got a beautiful picture, Neil.
Okay, I'm going to move it.
Okay, there's another good one. Okay, we got that one.
Okay, now this one's right down sun, straight west. And I want to know if you can see an angular rock in the foreground.
Roger, we have a large angular rock in the foreground, and looks like a much smaller rock a couple of inches to the left of it, over.
Right, and then on beyond it about 10 feet is an even larger rock that's very rounded. That rock is about, the closest one to you is about sticking out of the sand about
1 foot. It's about 1.5 feet long, and it's about 6 inches thick, but it's standing on edge.
Roger.
Okay, Neil, I've got the table out. Got a bag deployed.
We got this view, Neil.
Straight south.
Roger, and we see the shadow of the limb.
In the hill, Roger, the little hill just beyond the shadow of the limb is a pair of elongate craters. About probably the pair together is 40 feet long and 20 feet across, and they're probably 6 feet deep. We'll probably get some more work in there later.
Now they move the camera again, and the limb is visible once more, and Buzz Aldrin comes into view, standing by the limb strut.
Roger, and we see Buzz going about his work.
How's that for a final?
For a final orientation, we'd like it to come left about 5 degrees over. Back to the right about half as much.
Okay.
Okay, that looks good there, Neil.
Yeah, that looks good there, Neil. Okay.
One hour, 7 minutes time expended.
Okay, you can make a mark, Houston.
Roger, slow in.
And incidentally, you can use the shadow that the staff makes to assist you in getting it perpendicular.
Buzz is erecting the solar wind experiment now.
Some of these small depressions get soft, and you tend to think, oh, maybe 2 or 3 inches. I can suggest exactly what the layer pictures showed when they pushed away a little bit. You can force transmitted through the upper surface of the soil, and about 5 or 6 inches away, it breaks loose and moves as if it were caked on the surface, when in fact it really isn't.
I noticed in the soft spots where we have footprints nearly 1 inch deep that the soil is very cohesive, and it will retain a slope of probably 70 degrees on the side of the footprint.
The men appear to float as they move rather than take steps, although you can see distinct footsteps.
I was going to mention that it looks something like crude animation or cartoon work, if you would, as they walk across. Probably seen early stages of cartoons, if you're that old.
Like King Kong.
Right, King Kong. That's a good description.
This is an adventure that far surpasses King Kong. The men now in the deep shadow of the limb between them and the rising sun.
You know, I'd use words like unbelievable and fantastic, but that doesn't describe it.
You know, and it would be trite to compare them to Lewis and Clark. Aldrin and Armstrong are doing things that are beyond any conception of past exploration.
All limb systems still looking good.
Both men now still in the shadow of the limb.
July 20th, 1969, that would be 66 years, right after the first man flew. Man's on the moon.
Yes. And only, let's see, 57 years since man first flew coast to coast in an airplane. And it took him about 3 months to do it.
Dead end, come on. I'm going to get the camera. Take that part. Go out here with them. Head up to the rock here.
This limb was put right down perfectly on a spot 240,000 miles from Earth. When man first flew from coast to coast 57 years ago, they had to use railroad tracks as their guidance and navigation system. And they'd send advanced crews out with a paintbrush and paint the railroad tracks to point them in the right direction.
Okay, you'll have to extend that one.
Columbia, Columbia, this is Houston, ALS, over.
Houston, ALS, over.
Neil Armstrong's been on the lunar surface now almost 45 minutes.
I don't have camera.
You know, it looks like a desert is about
Very much so.
You know,
A
it's
desert
not
at
the only thing you
twilight.
compare it to. Pardon me?
A desert at twilight.
Yes.
It lives up to all its pre-landing billings, certainly an inhospitable place. Rocks scattered about with small craters.
Overhead, Collins and the command ship Columbia could hear, but not watch the unfolding drama.
Columbia, this is Houston, reading you loud and clear, over.
Yeah, this is Houston reading. Yeah, reading you loud and clear. How's it going?
Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. I believe they're setting up the flag now.
Great.
I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit. How is the quality of the TV?
Oh, it's beautiful, Mike. It really is.
Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent?
Yes, indeed. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
Up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface. Beautiful, just beautiful.
However, this in no wise makes a territorial claim by the United States, as, they can't claim this in the name of Queen Victoria.
As a matter of fact, they have a flag for every nation with the exception of a couple, 3, namely Red China and Cuba.
See if you can pull that end off a little bit. Tighten that end up a little. It won't go up.
The two men still working with the flag now. They appeared to have the flag planted in the lunar soil and took it back out to try again. There seems to be a hard pan under the inch or two of lunar dust on top. And there are spots in this hard pan that presumably are difficult to penetrate. Perhaps that's the reason the flag staff was pulled out and then replanted. The flag now in the lunar soil. being held out in an unfurled position by a spring device.
A little wire that runs right up the top of it, Russ. Keeps it sticking out in the airless whirl. And you know, the more I look at this picture, the more it looks like to me a grade B Western, to a certain extent, on a desert, you know, where they would use night lighting.
The astronauts have stepped to one side and are gazing at the flag. I don't know whether they're saluting it or not, but their back is to us and we can't see, but they seem to be standing in an attentive position as though they were paying their respects to the flag.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
Witness the final events of Apollo 11's astonishing adventure as they happened 20 years ago. Premiering July 24th.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
How well you carry yourself in business often depends on what you carry in business. Cambridge Business Wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge Business Wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
A&E invites you to set sail on an ocean full of cosmic wonder. Aboard a powerful four-part series, Space Flight. Journey through an in-depth record of past, present, and future developments of manned space exploration. From the first venture to the stars, to why we embrace the challenge, and what paths still await us in the universe beyond. All revealed in a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at space flight. Mondays.
My name is Jason Gaze. I am 10 years old and I had cancer. In all the movies I ever saw, in all the books I read about kids with cancer, the kid always died. Well, I didn't die, so I wrote my own book about what it's like for a kid to have cancer.
Family programming, poignant, powerful. Nobody brings it home like HBO.
Some drinks have a dark side, a taste that may leave you thirsty. But all-natural Sundance is just fruit juices and sparkling water. No added sugar, no dark side. A refreshingly bright idea. So if you're looking for delicious taste that really satisfies, reach for all-natural Sundance Sparkler. With so much sparkling goodness in every bottle, Sundance puts refreshment in a whole new light.
A&E's presentation of Moonwalk, as it happened, now continues.
I think we're anticipating a telephone call to the moon from the White House.
Neil, this is Houston, radio check, over.
Hi, Roger. Houston, loud and clear.
Roger out.
Loud and clear, Houston.
Roger, Buzz.
Now they are moving away from the flag.
They are walking around without any effort at all, but they seem to be enjoying it, to say the least.
Easier than in the simulator, Armstrong said.
It's almost as if they were roller skating without skates. Just an easy shuffle of those heavy lunar boots, and they are able to move right along without any difficulty.
That
like to evaluate the various paces that a person can traveling on the surface. Leave them out of your field of view. Is that right now, Houston?
That's affirmative, Buzz. You're in our field of view now.
You do have to be. All right, you do have to be rather careful to keep track of where your center of mass is. Sometimes it takes about 2 or 3 paces to make sure that you've got your feet underneath you. And about 2 or 3 or maybe 4 easy paces can bring you to a fairly smooth stop. Direction. Like a football player, you just have to put out to the side and cut a little bit. So-called kangaroo hop does work, but it seems your forward stability is not quite as good as it is in the conventional, more conventional one foot after another. As far as saying what a sane pace might be, I think the one that I'm using now would get rather tiring after several hundred. But this may be a function of the suit as well as lack of gravity force here.
Tranquility Base, this is Houston. Could we get both of you on the camera for a minute, please?
Say again, Houston?
Roger, we'd like to get both of you in the field of view of the camera for a minute. Neil and Buzz, the President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you. Over.
That would be an honor.
Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you... For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure they too join with Americans in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as you talk to us from the Sea of Tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to Earth. For one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, and one in our prayers that you will return safely to Earth.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here representing not only the United States, but men of peace of all nations, and with interest and a curiosity and with a vision for the future. Honor for us to be able to participate here today.
And thank you very much, and I look forward, all of us look forward to seeing you on the Hornet on Thursday.
Look forward to that very much, sir.
Three,
Airman
two,
from the planet Earth.
1,
First step
0.
on the moon.
Okay, kids. Today we're going to demonstrate a discovery that could change your lives. Oh, really?
It's the Nobel Prize-winning discovery by IBM scientists of a more practical superconductor that carries electricity with no resistance and makes magnetic objects defy gravity. This discovery is fascinating not only scientists, but future scientists. Advances in superconductivity. IBM technology at work.
We help more Americans go to college, and we issue more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. We're Citicorp and Citibank, America's largest financial services company. Whatever financial success you hope to achieve, whether it's business or personal, we can help you do it, and do it better than anyone else. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. When you're choosing your business wardrobe, selecting everything down to the last detail, don't forget the last detail. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
To get more out of your viewing pleasure, you know where to look. Now take a look at the all-new A&E program guide in full color, full size, with detailed program descriptions and exciting in-depth looks at A&E premieres. Subscribe now. To order your $18 annual subscription using Visa or MasterCard, call 1-800-228-2787 toll-free. Or send a check or money order to A&E Program Guide, P.O. Box 2094, Mahopac, New York, 10541.
Every Tuesday and Sunday night, A&E's biography series profiles the private lives of public figures. Behind the cameras and the microphones are personal stories of greatness and madness. Biography explores the creative mind and celebrates artistic genius. For a compassionate look into complicated times, tune into A&E's biography series, where great lives become great entertainment. Every Tuesday and Sunday night.
3,
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
Loud and clear, Houston.
Roger, I've got a P-22 auto optics pad for you.
Roger, go ahead.
Roger, P-22, landmark ID, LEM, T1, 1102656. T2, 1103206. 3 miles south. Time of closest approach, 1103340. Shaft 353.855. Trunnion 46.495. Roll 0. Pitch 250. Yaw 0. Over.
Roger, thank you. EVAC now required.
Roger, out.
Houston, it's very interesting to note that when I kick my foot material with no atmosphere here and it's gravity, they seem to leave and most of them have about the same angle of departure and velocity. Just where I stand, the large portion of them will impact at a certain distance out. There are several certain percentage, of course, that will impact different regions out, but it's highly dependent upon the initial trajectory upwards, determines where most of the majority of the particles come down, like the terrain.
Roger, Buzz, and break, Columbia. This is Houston. When you track out of high gain antenna limits, request Omni Delta. Omni Delta, over.
Come in. I've noticed several times in going from the sunlight into shadow that just as I go in, I catch an additional reflection off the limb. Along with the reflection off my face onto the visor, makes visibility very poor just at the transition sunlight into the shadow. I essentially have so much glare coming onto my visor, I'm under shadow, until helmet actually gets shadow, and then it takes a short while for my eyes to adapt to lighting conditions. Inside the shadow area, visibility, as we've said before, is not too great, but both visors up. We can certainly get what sort of footprints we have and the general condition of the soil. Again, after being out in the sunlight a while, it takes... watch it, Neil. Neil, you're on the cable. Okay. Yeah, lift up your right foot. Right foot. It's still, your toe is still hooked in it. That one? Yeah, it's still hooked in it. A minute. Okay, you're clear now. Thank you. Now, let's move that over this way.
Neil Armstrong has the scoop for the bulk sample collection.
This could be as much as 50 pounds of material, rocks and soil or what have you. And when they seal them, they'll seal them in such a manner that they will bring them back under vacuum. This is important to the scientists who will study them once they get back here, is that they open it under pure vacuum.
The boot color of my boots have completely disappeared now into this small... I don't know exactly what color to describe this other than grayish cocoa color. Seems to be covering most of the wider part of the boot. Color that had very fine particles.
Buzz, this is Houston. You're cutting out on the end of your transmission. Can you speak a little more closely into your microphone, over?
Into your microphone, over. Roger, I'll try that.
Beautiful.
Well, I had that one inside my mouth that time.
Sounded a little wet.
A little wet.
Neil's been on the surface an hour now. Buzz, not quite 20 minutes less than that.
In general, time spent in the shadow doesn't seem to have any thermal effects that we feel inside the suit. There is a difference, of course, in the coming radiation and helmet, so I think there's a tendency to feel a little cooler in the shadow than we out in the sun.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
One hour and a half expended on the PLSSs now.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
This is the random sampling that they are taking now, and they will fill two boxes. Each box big enough to carry approximately 50 pounds of earth weight. How many pounds of moon soil will depend upon the density of the rocks they pick up. But this first sample will be uncatalogued, be a sort of a random sampling. Any rocks that look interesting to them, scientists, geologists around the world can take a rock the size of a tennis ball and analyze it and tell you almost more than you really care to know from their analysis of it.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
Houston, Columbia, Delta.
Roger, you should have VHF AOS with the LEM right about now. VHF LOS will be at 40 minutes, 15 seconds, over.
Thank you.
Lunar module flyers Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin now well beyond the halfway point in their walk on the moon.
Heart rates on both crewmen averaging between 90 and 100. Flight surgeon reports they're right on the predicted number of the BTU units expended in energy of work. And he thinks they're in great shape.
I look around the area, the contrast in general is comes about completely by virtue of the shadows. Almost feet. Looking down sun, zero phase, very light colored gray, light gray colored, like a halo around my own shadow, around the shadow of my helmet. Then as I look off cross sun, the contrast becomes strongest in that the surrounding color is still fairly light. As you look down into the sun, a larger amount of shadowed areas looking toward us. The general color of the surrounding is darker than cross sun. Contrast is not as great.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
You can see the dream of success in the eyes of people all across America. At Citicorp, we understand the dream. That's why, as Citicorp and Citibank, we've become America's largest financial services organization, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more home mortgages, more student loans, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Today, the world of the hearing and speech impaired is changing with the aid of an IBM computer. This system, called Speech Viewer, was developed by IBM to help these people enhance their vocal skills. And it's one more example of IBM technology at work.
My name is Pamela.
Some drinks have a dark side, a taste that may leave you thirsty. But all-natural Sundance is just fruit juices and sparkling water. No added sugar, no dark side. A refreshingly bright idea. So if you're looking for delicious taste that really satisfies, reach for all-natural Sundance Sparkler. With so much sparkling goodness in every bottle, Sundance puts refreshment in a whole new light.
The worst job, that photo mat job. Where do these people take breaks? What, do they shut that window and duck down in there? Have you ever gotten out of the car to check? Hey, are you in there? You know they look through your pictures. I went up there one time, I didn't even have to give her my name. She went, here.
Comedy. The funniest at their funniest. Nobody brings it home like HBO.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
How well you carry yourself in business often depends on what you carry in business. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
3, 2. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
Surveying all the dusty area that we've picked up. Considerably darker in texture now. I've picked up once. I imagine that this has been out by certain impacts that we've surveyor. The same is true. I survey crops on along the area that we're walking. General, in addition to the fact that there are footprints there, general terrain where I've been up out of this surface trail is generally of a darker contrast in color.
We see one of the astronauts now very close to the LEM, collecting the lunar soil, walking in sort of a crouched position, not moving very far away from the LEM in collecting this sample. The farthest they have walked has been the 40 or 50 feet or so that they moved the TV camera. Armstrong took the TV camera out that far and set it up on a tripod so that it could aim back at the LEM and show the full lunar module and the activities of the two astronauts between the camera and the LEM. Helps the mission controllers evaluate their activities, helps them evaluate their ability to move around, and also provides a very good show for millions of Earthbound participants.
You can see Neil Armstrong bringing the scoop.
The ram I'll be taking is about 30 to 40 feet out to plus. But
say again which strut, please, Buzz.
So it seems the plus V strut.
Roger.
And, right in this area, there are two craters. The one that's right in front of me now, as I look off in about the 11 o'clock position from spacecraft, about 30 to 35 feet across. And several Rocks to boulders, 6, 8 inches across, different sizes.
Astronaut Aldrin describing some of the rocks and craters. Aldrin now not in the picture, Neil Armstrong at the base of the limb.
Neil is filling the bulk sample bag attached to a scale. You can see him in the picture. Buzz is behind the limb at the -Z strut. That's the landing gear directly opposite the ladder.
Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin now have been on their portable life support systems for better than an hour, 38 minutes, which means they have approximately an hour left to go. With still more experiments to do, they have a laser beam experiment, a seismic instrument to place on the moon's surface, those instruments to be left behind. They have already unfurled a foil to be used in gathering solar wind particles. That will be taken back with them when they fire the ascent engine and move back into lunar orbit tomorrow. Right now, the men are gathering rock samples. Armstrong is gathering rock samples.
Neil's been on the surface about an hour and 10 minutes now.
Astronaut Mike Collins, meanwhile, continues his orbit of the moon in the command ship. It will be Collins' job tomorrow to pick up these two men as they leave the lunar surface, go back into orbit for the docking, the rendezvous and docking, and the eventual return to Earth.
I'm now in the area of the -Y strut. Taking some section photographs.
The Apollo 8 crew said the moon was gray, it had no color, and the 10 crew said it was gray with the brownish gray areas. So
ash cocoa.
In general,
ash cocoa.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
Buzz is making his way around the limb, photographing it from various angles, looking at its condition on all sides.
Armstrong earlier remarked about the stark beauty of the surface there. Described it, or he compared it to the high desert country of the United States.
With the bulk sample.
A lot of hard rock he described.
1 hour, 40 minutes time expended on the PLSSs now.
Three theories of how the moon came into being. One, naturally, that it formed itself out of particles traveling through space. Another is that it's part of the Earth that broke off at one time.
Bulk sample is 15 sealed.
And the third theory is that the moon was another body in space traveling toward our solar system, was caught by the gravity of the Earth, and at one time it swung within 20,000 miles of our surface and caused huge tidal waves, and all here on Earth, and then eventually worked its way out. Because one of the laser mirror that they're going to set up should tell us somewhat whether or not this is true, if the moon is going away from us, if the solar system is expanding.
Columbia, this is Houston. Go ahead, over.
Roger, no marks on the limb that time. I did see a suspiciously small white object with coordinates are.
Go ahead with the coordinates on the small white object.
Easy 0.37.6, but I'm not sure the instrument is right on the southwest rim of a crater. I think they would know it if they were in such a location. It looks like their limb would be pitched up at quite a degree. It's on the southwest wall of a smallish crater.
Roger, copy.
These seismic experiments and the laser experiment and the solar wind experiment are all passive. They have no moving parts. They have no power supply. They just sit there. So theoretically, they should last indefinitely. And following up your other subject on the formation of the moon and the three theories of it, Dr. Urey, University of California Nobel Prize winner, I think is one who subscribes to that splash theory, that the moon at one time came so close, as you said, the tidal waves were created and perhaps water splashed onto the moon and perhaps even contains remnants of protozoa and old life forms, which on this continent or this country or this planet, of course, would have long since been destroyed, but in the atmosphere or the lack of atmosphere around the moon, if such evidence exists, it would not have been destroyed, or at least that's what he hopes that these lunar experiments will show, that they perhaps can come up with some examples of life or water or moisture that at one time might have existed.
He's looking forward, incidentally, to getting a hold of some of these rocks.
Yes, indeed.
He's one of the experimenters.
The lunar flyer is still moving around the limb now. Armstrong has confined most of his activities to the base of the limb, working at the modularized equipment storage assembly, the MESA. He has completed the gathering of the rock samples, as he informed Mission Control just a few moments ago.
Airman 2, 1,
First step
0.
on the moon.
How well you carry yourself in business often depends on what you carry in business. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
We help more Americans go to college, and we issue more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. We're Citicorp and Citibank, America's largest financial services company. Whatever financial success you hope to achieve, whether it's business or personal, we can help you do it, and do it better than anyone else. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Patty Schoenfeld is deaf, but an IBM computer lets her talk on the phone. Art Sweet is almost blind, but can read a bank statement. And Madge Pentecost has trouble using her arms, but uses a computer by aiming an infrared beam. IBM provides information about special equipment like this, so more people with disabilities can use their abilities. Write IBM, Box C-1030, Atlanta, Georgia.
Mom, what's rocket fuel made of? Look it up, dear. Look it up, dear.
Stay tuned for a free offer from Encyclopedia Britannica.
Come taste the adventure. Come reach to the sky. Come feel the excitement of who, what, where, why. Open Britannica. Explore and you'll find that living the moment
find out more about Britannica for your child, call toll-free 1-800-228-2787, and we'll send you this free booklet. And just for previewing Britannica in your own home, you can get this 3-volume desk reference set absolutely free. So call this number now.
There's experience for a lifetime in Britannica.
Call now.
A&E's presentation of Moonwalk, As It Happened, now continues.
In a few minutes, we can expect Armstrong to go ahead with some of the experiments that are to be deployed, some of the other experiments, the seismic, which still must be placed on the lunar surface, and the laser beam.
The DOS deflector that's mounted on Quad 1 seems to be a good bit more wrinkled. Right now on Quad 4.
You're breaking up again, Buzz.
Breaking up again, Buzz. I say the jet deflector that's mounted on Quad 4 seems to be, the surface of it seems to be more wrinkled than the one that's on Quad 1. Generally, underneath part of the LEM seems to have stood up quite well to the, look at some pictures in the aft part of the LEM that illuminate the thermal effects much better than we could get them up here in the front.
Roger out.
I want to get some particular photographs of the bulk sample area, Neil.
Okay.
He just called Armstrong Neil, which calls attention to a point that was brought up earlier. Since they call the two spaceships by different names, Eagle, Columbia, it was asked of them, how are they going to refer to each other when they're separated on the moon surface like this? And I think they said, well, we'll call each other by our names, Neil and Bart.
No flags. Adequate. Light warming fingers.
Roger, and Neil has 66% O2, no flags, minimum cooling, and the suit pressure is 382.
Houston, roger out.
66% there on the PLSS, and they have been out, or been on them 1 hour and 46 minutes. So they're not using up the oxygen too fast.
Neil has finished collecting and packing the bulk sample.
Buzz, this is Houston. Have you removed the close-up camera from the Mesa yet? Over.
The Mesa referred to as the modularized equipment storage assembly, where the experiments and equipment are kept.
Get a panorama there. Okay.
Both men now at the base of the limb, moving about with apparently no difficulty at all. They seem to enjoy the ease with which they can move around on the lunar surface.
Houston, with our timeline appear to be going?
Well, Roger, it looks like you're about a half hour slow on it. We're working on consumables, over.
All right.
Both men still moving about in the vicinity of the lunar module as it rests in the southwestern corner of the Sea of Tranquility. A moment ago, Buzz Aldrin asked about the reservoir in his portable life support system and was informed that everything is looking good. Here's Mission Control.
Your consumables are in good shape at this time. The 30-minute reference was with respect to the nominal timeline, over.
Roger, I understand that.
Portable life support system utilizes body heat to convert the ice, and the sublimator ice, to convert that directly into its gaseous state, H2O, and the O part, the oxygen, is what they breathe, and what keeps them alive.
The men have been on this system now for almost an hour and 50 minutes, which means they have about 50 or so minutes to go. It appears to me they still have a lot to do before they wrap up this walk on the surface of the moon. No communication now between Mission Control and the two flyers.
It's just conceivable that when they take off, we might get just the briefest glimpse of the flame coming down from the ascent engine before it severs the power cables to that television camera, because the TV camera will be left on the moon in this position.
Neil's been on the surface now slightly over an hour and 20 minutes.
Hey, don't note any abnormalities in the limb. Quads seem to be in good shape. The primary and secondary struts are in good shape. Antennas are all in place. There's no evidence of problem underneath the limb due to either the engine exhaust or drainage of any kind.
Roger, up.
It's very surprising, very surprising lack of penetration of all four of the foot pads. I'd say if we were to try and determine just how far below the surface they would have penetrated, you'd measure in 2 or 3 inches, wouldn't you say, Neil?
At the most, yeah. That fly strut there is probably even less than that.
All right, great job. I get a picture of the bus-wide strut taken from near the descent station. I think we'll be able to see a little bit better what the ripple effects are. Seem to be quite minimal.
A gentle landing by Eagle.
They make periodic checks of the limb. They don't make just one check. They make frequent examinations of those limb struts just to make sure that they're not sinking slowly, and they're not.
Just one picture taken the right rear of the spacecraft, looking at the skirt of the descent stage. So a slight darkening of the surface color, a rather minimal amount of radiating or etching away or erosion of the surface. And now on descent, both of us remarked that we could see a large amount of very fine dust particles moving out. It was reported beforehand that we would probably see an outgassing from the surface after actual engine shutdown, but I recall I was unable to verify that.
This description of the lunar module from astronaut Edwin Aldrin. The men will be on the moon for about 22 hours, according to the flight plan, but they will be walking about on the surface for just a little over, well, actually less than 2 hours and a half.
Presumably, the rest period that they skipped in order to make this early EVA, presumably, I say, because we've certainly heard no confirmation or mention of the subject, will be added to the 4-hour rest period that is scheduled following EVA.
Just too big an angle, Neil. Yep. I think you're right.
Both men now taking a close look at the lunar module, both out of camera range, off to the left of the picture. Again, the lunar landscape in a general shadow. The sun barely over the horizon, over the lunar horizon. A portion of the limb brilliantly lighted, but most of it in shadow.
Commander Armstrong is now photographing all parts of the limb, and he has this close-up camera we started talking about a while ago that he took off of the Mesa. And it's a stereo camera that he can use, and he'll take pictures of the exact impression.
Minus Z set now. Stereo pair we're taking to the head will take very little force of impact that we actually had.
I get the impression these men are very much impressed by the firmness of the terrain beneath the limb and beneath the area in which they're walking.
And Neil, if you take the camera, okay, to work on the SEQ bay. Okay.
Columbia, Columbia, this is Houston.
I noticed that...
Columbia, this is Houston. Go ahead, Bud.
Okay. Try to get some close-up pictures of that front. I was saying that Houston stop and take a photograph of something and then want to start moving again sideways. Quite a tendency to start doing it with just gradual sideways hops until you start getting momentum.
Roger.
Can you see us underneath the LEM over at the SEQ bay, Houston?
Yes, indeed, Buzz. We can see your feet sticking out underneath the structure of the LEM descent stage.
Okay, I'm just on the other side of the...
now we can see you through the structure of the minus Z secondary strut.
The SEQ bay contains the scientific experiments to be left on the surface of the moon. The laser, reflector.
They're open, and it looks like they're going to stay up without any problem.
Columbia, Columbia, this is Houston. We're about to lose you on the Omnis. Request high gain antenna, react mode, pitch 2-0, yaw 135, over.
Gonna pick an area, Neil.
Make that yaw 175, Columbia, yaw 175 on the high gain.
Chloe is locked up on the high gain, Houston.
Roger out.
Two men looking over their lunar module now, moving about in clear picture range. As they move around to the sunny side of the limb,
I thought you were going to say street.
the sun, they got the whole boulevard here, don't they? No traffic jam where they are.
The surgeon says everything looks fine.
The men have been on their portable life support systems now for almost 2 hours. Dr. Charles Berry, flight surgeon, reported a few moments ago that everything looks good. So Armstrong and Aldrin are making the most of it and are continuing their activities outside the lunar module, walking about.
An hour and a half of lunar surface time for Neil Armstrong.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
Check out A&E in August when our stage series presents Summer Stock, a scorching collection of classics that are sure to lift your summer doldrums. Cool off with George Bernard Shaw's Caesar and Cleopatra, starring Claude Rains and, you guessed it, Vivien Leigh. And don't miss Oscar Wilde's irresistible comedy of manners, The Importance of Being Earnest. And if you're in the mood for something different, be sure to watch The Rivals, a romantic farce unlike any other. Summer Stock, every Thursday in August and only on the A&E cable network.
Sarge, I got 2 fighters. No, they're scrambling 3.
-4.
Heading 240.
Korean 007.
They're chasing. Whatever it is, they're chasing.
Stop the shield.
Original movies. The biggest, the best. Nobody brings them home like HBO.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. When you're choosing your business wardrobe, selecting everything down to the last detail, don't forget the last detail. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
Okay, kids. Today we're going to demonstrate a discovery that could change your lives. Oh, really?
It's the Nobel Prize-winning discovery by IBM scientists of a more practical superconductor that carries electricity with no resistance and makes magnetic objects defy gravity. This discovery is fascinating not only scientists, but future scientists. Advances in superconductivity. IBM technology at work.
You can see the dream of success in the eyes of people all across America. At Citicorp, we understand the dream. That's why, as Citicorp and Citibank, we've become America's largest financial services organization, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more home mortgages, more student loans, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
3. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
At this time, astronaut Aldrin has opened the equipment bay door, and he's removing the two scientific experiments we've been talking about that will be left behind on the moon. One checks and reports to Earth the lunar seismic activity. The other experiment provides a reflector target for laser beams measuring precise Earth-Moon distance.
Houston, the passive seismometer has been deployed manually.
Roger.
They've been on the portable life support systems for 2 hours now.
Aldrin will carry out these experiments to their location, which will be about 70 feet from the limb, where they'll begin setting them up. The first one he'll set up will be the passive seismic experiment.
And the manual deployment of the LR cubed little spring that's at the end of the string pulled off of the pit fin. However, I was able to reach up and get hold of the pit fin and pull it loose. So it'll be deployed manually also.
Roger.
And the panorama is complete, and got the limb 730 position at about 60 feet.
That's Neil Armstrong to the left of the screen. By that.
Doors are closed and locked.
Roger.
Roger. Hey, have you got us a good area picked out? Well, I think right out on that rise out there is probably as good as any. But probably stay on the high ground there and much at the edge of that crater is rather soft. Real soft there, isn't it? There are a couple of close-ups on these quite rounded, large boulders.
Buzz Aldrin coming into view on the right, carrying the two experiments.
About 40 feet out. I'd say out to the end of that next... Well, it's going to be a little difficult to find a good level spot here. Top of that next little ridge there, wouldn't that be a pretty good place? Okay, how about I put the LR cube right about here? All right. And, I'm going to have to get on the other side of this rock here. I would go right around that crater to the left there. Isn't that a level spot there? I think this right here is just as level. Okay.
And they will be out of the camera's field of view while setting up these experiments.
The boulders look like basalt, and they have probably 2% white minerals in them, white crystals. And the thing that I reported as vesicular before, I don't believe I believe that anymore. I think it's small craters
they look like little impact craters where BB shot has hit the surface.
Be little meteorites, I suppose. Well, he's talking about basalt, not gold and diamonds, so we can get all the basalt we need around here.
Well, they called Alaska Seward's Folly at one time, too. It was sometime later that it proved its mineral wealth. The astronauts will compensate for the weight of the rocks that they're collecting. It'll be more than 100 pounds. They'll compensate for the weight of those rocks in their command module on their return trip home by leaving behind quite an array of equipment. They'll leave the TV equipment, they'll leave the camera, the tripod, they'll leave all of the scientific experiments that they're setting up. Some of the lower stage, the descent stage of the Eagle will also be left behind. They'll leave their 2 portable life support systems and part of their garments, too.
Both men now out of camera range as they set up the seismic and laser beam experiments. It's a passive picture we're looking at.
Houston, I have the seismic experiment flipped over now, and I'm aligning it with the sun. I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting the beef go in the center. Wants to move around and around on the outside. Doesn't find any spot, any home.
You're cutting out again, Buzz.
Roger, I say I'm not having too much success in leveling the PSE experiment.
Lunar Module flyers Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin still out of camera range as they move about on the lunar surface, setting up experiments that hopefully will tell men for years to come something about the formation of the universe and the nature of the heavenly bodies that surround this Earth of ours. Here's one of the flyers now talking to Houston's mission control. Let's listen.
The bubble level, and the alignment appears to be good.
Neil, this is Houston. Roger, out.
Hey, you want to take a look at this BB, see what you make out of it?
I found it pretty hard to get perfectly level, too.
That baby likes the outside. It won't go on the inside.
That little cup is convex now instead of concave.
I think you're right.
I believe it is.
Houston, I don't think there's any hope of using this leveling device to come up with an accurate level. It looks to me as though the cup here that the BB is in is now convex instead of concave, over.
Roger, 11. Press on. If you think it looks level by eyeball, go ahead.
Okay.
The bubble they're discussing is on a leveling device on the passive seismometer.
One going, huh? There you go. Good work. Good show. Hey, whoa, stop. Back up. Houston, as I was facing the PSC, the right-hand solar array deployed automatically. The left hand, I had to manually training bar at the far end. And all parts of the solar array are clear of the ground now.
Buzz, this is Houston. Understand you did successfully deploy both solar arrays, over.
Roger, that's affirmative. And there isn't any way of telling whether that's lined up. Not getting in the way. Maybe I can get down here.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
We help more Americans go to college, and we issue more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. We're Citicorp and Citibank, America's largest financial services company. Whatever financial success you hope to achieve, whether it's business or personal, we can help you do it. And do it better than anyone else. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
IBM technology is helping to explore the Earth's crust. Conventional methods probe to about 5 miles. But at Cornell University, an IBM supercomputing system analyzes seismic data at such high speed, geologists are now charting the Earth's crust 20, 25, even 30 miles deep. In geology, in other sciences, and in business, supercomputing is another example of IBM technology at work.
This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. When you're choosing your business wardrobe, selecting everything down to the last detail, don't forget the last detail. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
A&E invites you to set sail on an ocean full of cosmic wonder. Aboard a powerful 4-part series, Spaceflight. Journey through an in-depth record of past, present, and future developments of manned space exploration. From the first venture to the stars, to why we embrace the challenge, and what paths still await us in the universe beyond. All revealed in a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at Spaceflight. Mondays.
The temperature's rising on A&E in August when our stage series presents Summer Stock, a scorching collection of classic presentations, including Robert Vaughn's renowned tour de force, FDR, Man in the White House. The New York Times called it a profound theatrical experience, a masterwork, says USA Today. Don't miss Matthew Broderick's stirring portrayal in the critically acclaimed production of Master Harold and the Boys. All this and more on Summer Stock, every Thursday in August and only on the A&E Cable Network.
3, that appears to be plenty.
Astronaut Aldrin is still deploying the solar panels on the seismic experiment, which means it'll only operate while there's sunlight on that part. The seismic stations to go up in the future will have what they call a snap generator. That's a nuclear generator to power them. It'll go day and night.
Neil, this is Houston, over.
Neil, this is Houston, over. Hey, go ahead, Houston.
Roger, we've been looking at your consumables, and you're in good shape. Subject to your concurrence, we'd like to extend the duration of the EVA 15 minutes from nominal. We will still give Buzz a hack at 10 minutes prior for heading in. Your current elapsed time is 2 plus 12, over.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Roger, out.
That 212 is the time expended on the PLSS.
This is Houston. If you're still in the vicinity of the PSE, could you get a photograph of the ball level, over?
I'll do that, but... Right, we'll get a photograph of that. Houston, what time would you estimate we could allow for the documented sample, over? Oh, shoot. I believe the ball is right in the middle now. Wonderful. Take a picture before it moves.
Neil, this is Houston. We're estimating about 10 minutes for the documented sampling, over.
One of the astronauts now has moved back to the base of the limb.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
Columbia, this is Houston, over. Go ahead, Houston, Columbia.
Roger, I'd like you to terminate charging battery Bravo at 111 plus 15, over.
Coming out right now.
Roger.
The ease with which they move around on the lunar surface, I think, may have helped prolong the life of the PL, the TLIS, so that they could add that extra 15 minutes. Aldrin will spend 10 minutes making this documented rock sample.
Buzz, this is Houston. You've got about 10 minutes left now prior to commencing your EVA termination activities, over.
Termination activities, over. Roger, I understand.
That means we're getting close to the end now of this walk on the moon. Another indication that everything is going very well with this Apollo 11 mission.
The forgotten astronaut, Michael Collins.
I bet he's not forgotten by Armstrong and Aldrin.
No.
Tranquility Base, this is Houston. The passive seismic experiment has been uncaged, and we're observing short period oscillations in it. Over.
Lunar module flyers Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin still moving about on the surface of the moon, heading toward the end.
Neil Armstrong has been on the surface now about an hour and 50 minutes.
The time on their portable life support systems, the elapsed time thus far, 2 hours, 17 minutes. Aldrin, out of camera range now, off with one of the experiments. Armstrong standing at the base of the limb.
Aldrin just reported a few moments ago that the seismic experiment had been uncaged. In other words, it was in working order, and that he was observing oscillation data. That the seismic instrument was, in fact, picking up vibrations.
It is hoped that this instrument will be sensitive enough to pick up the footsteps of the men as they walk about on the lunar surface, transmit that signal back to Earth. We'll have to wait for full confirmation of that kind of sensitivity, though.
Aldrin just reappeared behind the LEM, coming in from left to right. He's behind the LEM, out of view now, but as he came into view, he seemed to be hopping in that kangaroo fashion again. But now he comes around on the right side of the LEM and is walking in more normal fashion, although it's still it's sort of a gait. It's a loose gait that.
He weighs about 30 pounds. I mean, of course, with all the equipment on him, he weighs quite a bit more, but he weighs about 30 pounds up there.
In the foreground, Buzz Aldrin is collecting a core tube sample.
I hope you're watching how hard I have to hit this into the ground to the tune of about 5 inches, Houston.
Roger.
It almost looks wet. Got it, sample. Wait a minute. Yeah, cut the cable again.
Neil and Buzz, this is Houston. We'd like you to...
You're right. Turn to your right. Not clear? Not quite.
Neil, this is Houston. We'd like you all to get 2 core tubes and the solar wind experiment. 2 core tubes and the solar wind, over.
That means they're beginning to wrap things up. The solar wind experiment is to be taken back with them when they leave the lunar surface. It was one of the first experiments set up, and its value is dependent directly on time of exposure.
Both astronauts now back at the base of the LEM.
The core tubes provide material.
Get the next one. Maybe you can turn away the box a little bit. Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Looks like they're preparing to activate that conveyor belt to lift the rock boxes and other samples back into the equipment bay.
They walked out on the moon on the 20th of July. And looks like they'll walk back in the spacecraft on the 21st of July.
Which is Moon Day.
Moon Day. Yeah,
Monday.
you know,
Monday is Moon Day. That's the... that would be some...
Buzz, this is Houston. You have approximately 3 minutes until you must commence your EVA termination activities. Over.
Roger, understand.
Columbia, this is Houston. Approximately 1 minute to LOS. Over.
1 minute. Columbia, roger.
And do you plan on commencing your sleep on the backside this pass? If so, we'll disable uplink to you while we're talking to the LEM. Over.
Negative that. Houston, were you able to record in a documentary way where the two tube samples were taken?
Negative.
Now, I didn't get a stereo pair of those tubes, but they're right in the vicinity of the solar wind.
Neil, this is Houston. After you've got the core tubes and the solar wind, anything else that you can throw into the box would be acceptable.
I do. Cap was right. I got the cap. Got the cap? They're both good caps on around. Okay. And you want to pick up some stuff and I'll get these receptacles. Throw the solar wind in.
Buzz Aldrin retrieving the solar wind experiment.
It's Aldrin. It looks as if they're packing up, getting ready to leave.
Buzz, this is Houston. It's about time for you to start your EVA closeout activities.
Roger.
They've been on their life support system. On their life support systems, 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Lunar Module astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin now have been on their portable life support systems for more than 2 hours, 25 minutes, and are now still moving about in the vicinity of the lunar module on the moon's surface.
Neil appears to be picking up rocks to the right of the screen.
Neil and Buzz, this is Houston. I'd like to remind you of the close-up camera magazine before you start up the ladder, Buzz.
Okay. Got that over with you, Neil? Now that close-up camera is underneath the mesa, I'll have to pick it up with the thong. And I'm picking up several pieces of really vesicular rock out here now. You didn't get anything in those environmental samples, did you? Not yet. I don't think we'll have time.
Roger, Neil and Buzz. Let's press on with getting the close-up camera magazine and closing out of the sample return container. You're running a little low on time.
Roger.
We want to keep a good margin in those portable life support systems.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
The two great gambling meccas of America. Chronicle visits Las Vegas and Atlantic City here on the A&E Cable Network.
Tomorrow.
How well you carry yourself in business often depends on what you carry in business. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
These kindergartners are using an IBM learning program called Writing to Read. Through computers and other tools, it's helping children across the country learn to read as much as 2 grade levels above the national average.
After a tiger sees me. Tigers live in the sea. The end.
To learn more, write IBM, Box 446, Montvale, New Jersey.
You can see the dream of success in the eyes of people all across America. At Citicorp, we understand the dream. That's why, as Citicorp and Citibank, we've become America's largest financial services organization, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more home mortgages, more student loans, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Some drinks have a dark side, a taste that may leave you thirsty. But all-natural Sundance is just fruit juices and sparkling water. No added sugar, no dark side. A refreshingly bright idea. So if you're looking for delicious taste that really satisfies, reach for all-natural Sundance Sparkler. With so much sparkling goodness in every bottle, Sundance puts refreshment in a whole new light.
3, 2, 1, 0. On the moon.
They will still have to remain on those portable life support systems after they get back into the LEM until they can repressurize that cabin.
That's exactly right. So this EVA is not over yet, even though they get back into the lunar module and seal the hatch.
Okay, can you quickly stick this in my pocket, Neil, and I'll head on up the ladder. I'll hold it. You open the pocket up.
Roll set, Phil. Okay, just hold it right there. Okay, let the pocket go. Stop close. Got it. Okay. Adios, amigos. Hey. Anything more before I head on up, Bruce?
Negative. Head on up the ladder, Buzz.
Head on up, Buzz.
That white dot right above the horizon on the right is a phosphorus spot from the TV converter in the Park Station in Australia.
The extravehicular activity, the walk on the moon, is drawing to a close. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin now is up the ladder of the LEM, about to move back into the lunar module. Astronaut Armstrong still on the lunar surface, moving about in the vicinity of the modularized equipment storage assembly. The two men talking to each other now as they start the final phase of their dramatic walk on the moon's surface. They have been on their portable life support systems now for 2 hours, 30 minutes. Aldrin standing on the LEM porch, as it's called.
I think you can reach this hook that's hanging over here. You might entertain the idea of sending up the second one that way.
Aldrin has gone back into the LEM, is going back into the LEM to assist in the stowing of the rock boxes and other paraphernalia they're bringing back. Armstrong still on the surface.
Okay, I'm heading on in. Okay. And I'll get the LEC already for the rock box.
Aldrin now moving back into the lunar module.
They use a conveyor belt system to hoist the rock boxes into the storage bay.
Neil's been on the surface a few minutes longer than 2 hours. Buzz, approximately 20 minutes less than that.
Neil, this is Houston. Did the Hasselblad magazine go up on that sample return container also?
Sample return container also. I've got the Hasselblad magazine hooked to the SRC now, yeah.
Roger.
The walk on the moon by astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin drawing to a close. One of the men back in the lunar module, the other, Armstrong, still on the surface, gathering up the final items.
How you doing, Buzz? I'm okay.
Mission Control going through a checklist, reminding them, did you bring along the camera or the film pack? Did you bring this? Did you bring that? Did you document where you got the rock core? Just checking off, making sure that they bring back all they intend to bring back.
Some of the things that they will leave behind there will be, of course, the American flag made of nylon, plaque that says, "Here, man," from the... Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon July 1969 A.D. They'll also have microfilmed messages from leaders of foreign nations. And, of course, the assortment of space junk from their overshoes and 2-ton engine of the first stage, the descent stage of the LEM. Well, looked like a rather bad picnic when they get through there.
Man's capacity to litter bug is now extended beyond the Earth.
Armstrong's still on the surface, moving about.
Well, he's working the conveyor belt right now. He's sending everything up to Buzz, who is inside, and they're working that up, sort of like a clothesline. And put something, hook it on, up goes this sample, hook it on, and there goes this camera. Gets everything back inside that way.
There had been a plan to put a big dish antenna out in case the picture from the lunar surface were not of sufficient quality.
Okay, that's got it clear.
Transferring the sample containers into the LEM cabin now.
Uh-oh. Camera came off. I mean, the film pack came off.
As far as I know, that antenna was not necessary. Did you hear anything about it being deployed?
It was not necessary.
The picture's been of excellent quality all the way through.
Okay, just ease it down now. Don't pull so hard on it. All right, let it go.
Oh, you're getting that. I've got to get this camera.
Okay, this one's in, no problem.
Okay, stand by a second.
Neil, this is Houston. Request an EMU check, over.
EMU check, over. Roger, got 3.8. And I got 54 on the O2 and no flags. And my flow is in.
Mission Control apparently a little concerned about the length of this extravehicular activity, and Armstrong now giving readouts on his EMU, extravehicular mobility unit. They want to make sure he has plenty of oxygen and everything is all right to continue his activities outside the lunar module. Armstrong still working that conveyor belt, getting everything inside that has to be taken back.
I'm sure if Armstrong thought there were any question at all that his consumables were even approaching any sort of red line, he would drop whatever he was doing and hasten to re-enter the LEM without any waste of time.
The Lick Observatory in California reports a return on the laser experiment.
Neil and Buzz, for your information, your consumables remain in good shape. Out.
In good shape. Roger. That's coming, Neil.
Okay, I've got one side hooked up to the second box, and I got the film pad on.
Okay, good.
Moonwalk, as it happened, will continue in a moment.
This year, the best-dressed people in business are all wearing the same thing. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear. When you're choosing your business wardrobe, selecting everything down to the last detail, don't forget the last detail. Cambridge business wear from Meade. As important to the way you look as the clothes you wear.
The worst job, that photo mat job. Where do these people take breaks? What, do they shut that window and duck down in there? Have you ever gotten out of the car to check? Hey, are you in there? You know they look through your pictures. I went up there one time, I didn't even have to give her my name. She went, here.
Comedy. The funniest at their funniest. Nobody brings it home like HBO.
Witness the final events of Apollo 11's astonishing adventure as they happened 20 years ago. Premiering July 24th.
What gives you lots of hot water, the lowest cost way?
Nothing does it like gas.
What lets you wash for less money to save every day?
Nothing does it like gas.
What heats water so efficiently it's half the cost of electricity?
Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas. For hot water, for cooking, home heating, or drying. Nothing does it, no, nothing does it like gas.
America's best energy value.
We help more Americans go to college, and we issue more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. We're Citicorp and Citibank, America's largest financial services company. Whatever financial success you hope to achieve, whether it's business or personal, we can help you do it, and do it better than anyone else. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
3, 2, 1, 0. On the moon.
In this laser reflector mirror, they ground the glass to within a half a second of arc. Now, this is a year ago, for example, the state-of-the-art grinding glass was about 1 second of arc. So it's extremely accurate. Now, if you want to go in figuring out that, you can figure out the millionths of degree of span that you have and accuracy of going out and coming back, and it's really accurate.
It looks like down here. I think my watch stopped now. Hit it. No, it didn't either. Second in. Okay, if you can just kind of hold it, but I think I can do the pulling. Okay?
Here they go, sending up another box.
That
This
conveyor
is the second
belt's
one.
quite an operation.
Stand by a minute, let me move back.
Armstrong now moving back away from the lunar module with his end of this conveyor belt. As it was so aptly described a little while ago, it's much like a clothesline contraption set up on a pulley.
Easy on the hatch now.
But instead of clothes, lunar rocks are being cranked right up to the hatch
Okay, I'll get it there.
in the lunar module, and astronaut Aldrin is standing there to retrieve them.
And I'll
Place the rock boxes, etc., inside.
Just a second.
Fasten them down.
And a little more.
Preparation for the ascent stage of the lunar module to lift off tomorrow.
Two hours, 40 minutes on the PLSSs.
2 hours, 40 minutes on the PLSSs, which was the programmed timeline. Now, they did extend that an extra 15 minutes earlier.
Both? Okay, it's unhooked. How about that package out of your sleeve? Get that? No. Okay, I'll get it. I'll get up there. Got it now? That's all.
Okay. Okay.
Armstrong now at the ladder. And appears to be wiping his feet.
Neil, this is Houston. Did you get the Hasselblad magazine? This is Houston. Did you get the Hasselblad magazine?
Yes, I did. And we got about, I'd say 20 pounds of carefully selected, if not documented, samples.
Houston, roger. Well done. Out.
At the second box.
Unofficial time off the surface at 1:11:37:32.
Now start arching your back. That's good. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. All right, arch your back a little, your head's up against it. Now, roll right just a little bit. Okay, now. And in good shape.
Thank you. I'm bumping now.
Now you're clear. You're rubbing up against me a little bit.
Okay.
Turn. All right, that's right. Turn to the left.
Both men now inside the lunar module. Their walk on the surface of the moon completed.
Now move your foot and I'll get the hatch.
Sounds like they're moving furniture around in there, doesn't it?
Yes, I think definitely that was the sound of the hatch door being closed.
Okay.
They are still relying on their portable life support system to provide them with their oxygen because the LEM has not been repressurized.
Okay, the hatch is closed and latched. And verified secure.
Okay.
Once again, the picture we see is lifeless. We cannot see the men inside.
Now we close the feed water valve. Close. And I got your flip antenna stood. Time.
Okay, feed water valves closed.
About an hour and 10 minutes from now, they'll reopen the hatch door and throw out all the unnecessary equipment, their feet and all, everything, and leave them on the surface of the moon here.
And I suppose we'll go through another period of distorted radio transmissions as their antenna will click against the sides of the LEM as they're going about their chores inside that very crowded vehicle.
We're not breaking my bucket.
Yeah, they'll check one another's equipment over and then repressurize the cabin here so that they can get rid of all the stuff.
This is Houston. Go ahead. You're cutting out, Neil. You're not readable. I understand you said something about contingency sample container on the Hassan engine. We're not reading you, Neil. Buzz, buzz. This is Houston. Do you read over? Tranquility Base, this is Houston. We're reading neither one of you, but standing by.
Well, they were having that trouble inside a while ago, bumping against metal. Apparently, they're maneuvering around now, getting all set up to repressurize.
Mission Control trying to clear up voice communication with the flyers.
They spent 2 hours, 13 minutes, 12 seconds. Man's first excursion on the moon, on the moon surface. Both astronauts now back inside LEM.
There is a communications difficulty now between the astronauts and mission control. The ground controllers trying to clear it up.
Same kind of shorting out that we experienced, or they experienced, and we heard when they were preparing to move
Pressure coming up about 2.789 pounds. Up to 3 now.
We know everything is working inside.
The difficulty, quite obviously, only with the voice transmission, not with telemetry, because they are getting a clear indication. The LEM cabin is being repressurized.
Once they get the cabin repressurized and can discard their portable life support garments, why then they will be back on the internal communication systems of Eagle, and that communication problem should be cleared up.
They show the cabin at 4.8 now.
That's about where they want it.
You were talking a while ago about what a lifeless picture that is there without the astronauts in it. It is. The American flag on the moon's surface there doesn't move at all. Airless. Nothing.
And how quickly we got used to the fact that they were there, and to just accept as almost commonplace human movement around the surface of that forbidding and barren and desolation, desolate-looking stretch of desert.
Still having trouble with the voice transmission from the lunar astronauts who are now back in the lunar module with the hatch sealed. The lunar module cabin being repressurized. But as yet, no voice transmission because the signal breaks up. No understandable voice transmission, we should say.
I wonder if perhaps the full emotion of this moment for them, for Aldrin and Armstrong, might not come sometime much later, after they have returned to Earth, after they have gone through the quarantine period, after they have returned to Houston. The plaudits are all past them. And Neil's wife says, hey, go out and empty the garbage, will you? And he goes out at night, and as he's dropping the garbage into the can, he looks up in the heavens, and there's that big, beautiful moon shining down on it. Maybe then it might hit him. What am I doing dropping garbage? I've been there.
I don't know. Somebody's got to empty the garbage.
Sitting here looking at that picture, and that desert scene and all, you know. Seems to me a Jeep should come sailing across now saying, get out of here, you're in a classified area or something, you know.
Well, once again, the two men are back in the lunar module. The hatch has been sealed. The cabin has been repressurized. But we're out of voice contact. There seems to be a breakup of signal between astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin and mission control. Telemetry data indicates the cabin pressure is back up to about normal, almost 5 pounds per square inch.
LEM's systems look good. Crewmen should now be transferring back to Tranquility Base's environmental control system, and later we'll switch to the vehicle's communication system. We estimate it'll be another 10 to 15 minutes before they're on the LEM communication system.
And if we have learned anything in the past from the way Armstrong and Aldrin conduct their activities, they won't be talking too much while they are in this busy period of switching from their portable life support system to and getting the Eagle environment control system functioning.
Lunar module flyers Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin are back in the LEM. After their walk on the surface of the moon, the LEM hatch has been sealed, the cabin has been repressurized.
Well, we can certainly say that the EVA, the extravehicular activity, has ended. They spent 2 hours, 13 minutes, 12 seconds on the surface of the moon, are back in Eagle, and are back relying on Eagle's systems to keep them alive.
In the background, a bit of static from mission control as ground controllers here wait for the men to move on to the communications system in the LEM itself rather than in the portable life support system.
And a replica of the American flag on the lunar surface is now being erected here in the control center.
That word from mission control.
I saw that flag in the corner over there a while ago. I was wondering about that.
And a replica of the plaque on Tranquility Base has been hung on the wall.
Altogether, inside and outside their moonship, Armstrong and Aldrin spent nearly a day in this strange, literally unearthly place. They did what they came to do.
In the 21st hour came the last real test. If Eagle's booster failed on liftoff, Armstrong and Aldrin would be condemned to drift for eternity on a tranquil sea of alien dust 250,000 miles from home. Again, utilizing film not seen until after Apollo 11's return to Earth, here is Eagle's liftoff from Tranquility Base on the surface of the moon, July 21st, 1969.
Tranquility Base, Houston. Guidance recommendation is pings, and you're cleared for takeoff. Roger, understand. We're number 1 on the runway. 7, 6, 5, port stage, engine arm ascent. Channel, beautiful. 26, 36 feet per second up.
Liftoff from the moon, perfect. Ahead, rendezvous with the command ship, a return to Earth, and the adulation of the world for 3 modest men, unlikely achievers of the impossible dream.
2,600 feet altitude. Eagle Houston, you're going right down the track. Everything's great.
The rendezvous chase in which Eagle would catch up with Columbia would take more than 3 hours. Eagle and Columbia would rejoin. Armstrong and Aldrin would crawl through a connecting tunnel and rejoin Collins. Half a day later, Apollo 11 would break out of lunar gravity and head for home.
NBC promoted its television coverage of the moonwalk with the line, "The longest journey begins with a single step." The step, of course, was the one taken by Neil Armstrong. Yet, in a sense, that step was not a beginning, but one in an astounding progression of adventures in space. How can we think of Apollo 11 without thinking of visionaries like Copernicus and Galileo, Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, Robert Goddard, Wernher von Braun, or the multitude of travelers, Gagarin, Grissom, Glenn, Christa McAuliffe. All of them have been part of a continuum that extends back for centuries and will continue on into the future. And in that continuum, in which all may never be said and done, the one step that will probably stand as the single most dramatic will be the giant leap taken on a warm summer night 20 years ago, when Earth first landed a man on the moon. I'm Edwin Newman for the A&E Cable Network. See you on the afternoon of July 24th, when we'll bring you the splashdown of Apollo 11 as it happened.
Altitude 4,200. Houston, you're a go for landing, over. Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. Stop alarm. 1201. 1201. Roger, 1201 alarm. We're go. Same time. We're go. Lights on. Down 2.5. feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward, just into the right roll. 6, down 1/2. 30 seconds forward. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world.
Mission on ascent, proceed. Second up. 5 pitch over.
Speed altitude.
Eagle Houston, you're going right down the track. Everything's great.
Next week on A&E, Wild World of the East anchors off the coast of Japan for a rare glimpse of the great blue heron. Next on A&E, a behind-the-scenes look at the magic behind the astonishing Broadway smash, Les Miserables, stage by stage.